Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a pretty wild idea. What if an AI could get smarter all by itself, with absolutely no human help? Now, it might sound like something straight out of science fiction, but new research shows it's a lot closer to reality than you might think.
So how does a large language model really get better? Most of us probably figure it's all about super smart developers just writing more and more advanced code. But for a long time, the secret ingredient has actually been something way more familiar. Us. Human feedback.
All right, let's get into it. The way things are done right now, the industry gold standard is a process that relies completely on people to tell the machine when it's on the right track.
The whole process is pretty simple, really. You give the AI a question, it spits out a few different answers, and then a team of human experts comes in and rates them, from best to worst. That feedback gets fed back into the model to train it. It's basically just a giant, really sophisticated thumbs-up, thumbs-down system where the AI learns by seeing which answers we humans like the most.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. This super reliable human-powered method, it's actually starting to cause some pretty big problems. It's become a massive bottleneck, and it's seriously slowing down progress.
Just think about it. Hiring entire teams of human experts to sit there and rate AI answers is, you guessed it, incredibly expensive. And it's so slow. But what's even crazier is that we humans can be really inconsistent. You could have two top experts give completely opposite feedback on the exact same answer. But the biggest problem, the real question, is about the ceiling. If an AI only learns from what humans already know, how can it ever get smarter than its own teachers? And that simple question right there is the key that unlocks a totally new way of thinking. What if, instead of waiting for us to grade its work, an AI could just figure out for itself when it's right and when it's wrong? It's an idea that could completely change the game.
And this is where we get to the breakthrough. Researchers have figured out a way for an AI to improve itself completely on its own with zero human supervision. They found a way for the AI to look inward and tap into its own understanding of the world.
So instead of asking a person, hey, is this right? The AI is now asking itself, okay, out of all these answers I just came up with, which one makes the most logical sense based on everything I already know? It's a huge shift from looking for outside approval to finding its own internal consistency.
But how does an AI even do that? The process is just fascinating. It's a journey that lets the AI go from just fixing its own little mistakes to actively making itself smarter at its core.
It's a method they call Internal Coherence Maximization, or ICM. And the main idea here is that a correct thought process should be consistent with itself, right? All the steps should logically flow and support each other. The AI basically learns how to spot these clean, coherent patterns inside its own brain.
So here's how the whole pipeline works. First, the AI comes up with a whole bunch of different answers to one problem. Then, it uses that internal coherence logic to sort through its own work, labeling some answers as chosen, the good ones, and others as rejected. After that, it creates these little preference pairs and uses a cool process called direct preference optimization, or DPO, to retrain itself. It's basically telling itself, okay, I need to think more like this good answer and less like that bad one.
And look at this math problem to see it in action. The AI generated two different solutions. Now, the rejected one made a classic mistake. It calculated twice the number of just the cats, not the cats and dogs combined. But here's the kicker. The AI spotted this logical flaw all by itself. No human had to step in and point it out.
So, the million-dollar question, right? Does this self-teaching stuff actually work better than learning from people? Well, researchers put it to the test, and honestly, the results were a huge surprise.
So the researchers set up this awesome head-to-head competition. In one corner, you've got GRPO, a top-of-the-line method that uses all that expensive human-labeled data. And in the other corner, you've got the new unsupervised kid on the block, ICM+DPO, which got absolutely zero human help.
Okay, check out these scores from a big math reasoning test. The basic model started at 63.2. Now, after getting trained by humans using GRPO, its score went up to 64.2. That's a nice little jump, right? Pretty much exactly what you'd hope to see from human feedback.
But here is the absolute shocker. The unsupervised model,
the one that taught itself, didn't just meet the human-trained one, it blew right past it, scoring a 66.0. The AI that taught itself became better at math than the AI that was taught by people.
Just let that sink in for a second. With absolutely no cost for human annotators and 0 time spent on human feedback, the model made itself better than the cutting-edge supervised method could. It found a more direct, more efficient path to getting smarter, all on its own.
And get this, the method is so solid that the knowledge it creates is transferable. The researchers took the wisdom that the self-taught AI learned and used it to train a weaker model. The result? It boosted that weaker AI's math skills by a massive 11%.
So, what's the big picture here? What does all this mean? Well, this isn't just some clever lab experiment. This could represent a really fundamental change in how we develop AI from here on out. This is pointing us toward a future where AI development is way faster, cheaper, and can scale up like never before. When you remove that human bottleneck, models can improve based on pure, cold logic and consistency. And that could potentially allow them to grow their skills far beyond the limits of their human creators. Ultimately, what this research really suggests is that so much of the knowledge is actually already inside these giant AI models. They get complex ideas, they really do. We just needed a better way to help them bring that understanding out. This method, it's like we finally handed the AI the key to unlock its own brain. And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. We've seen this work for math, but what about writing code? Or what about scientific discovery? Or even creative writing? We might be standing right at the beginning of a whole new era, one where an AI's ability to learn is no longer limited by our ability to teach it.